Casey Danley. Center fielder number 50, Josh Robinson.
And welcome to Al Ortolani Field, where the Missouri Western State University Griffins are taking on the Emporia State Hornets in this losers bracket matchup, where the winner will play tomorrow at 4 p.m. against the loser of Central Missouri and Pittsburgh State, which is coming up later today. The game is at 7:30. Game already in progress as we get here. Game began with Casey Danley grounding out to short. Now the batter is Josh Robinson. His count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's squaring against the right-handed throwing Jake Burton of Emporia State. Defense straight away. It's a beautiful day here at Al Ortolani Field. Clouds kind of rolling in, but the sun is out. A little warmer than yesterday, where it was gray and cloudy most the entire day. One game is already in the books here. 3-2 high ball 4. Robinson works a 1-out walk. That's going to bring up Dusty Stroop, the third baseman for the Griffins. First game in the books saw the Lindenwood Lions defeat Northwest Missouri State University Bearcats by a score of 4-3. A game-winning home run in the top of the 9th by Mitchell Krebs with 1 out was the deciding factor. First pitch to Stroop is in there for a strike. Rounding out the rest of the Griffins lineup will be Brooks Day, the shortstop, batting cleanup. Andrew Curry, the first baseman, batting 5th. Fod Shaquille in left field, batting 6th. Wyatt Meyer, the designated hitter, batting 7th, trying to steal second and being thrown out. It's going to be Josh Robinson. A very late jump by Robinson and an absolute dart of a throw by Cooper Minnick, Emporia State's catcher. Cut down Robinson. Robinson tried to do a head-first slide in order to get there, but was unable to do so. Now there's nobody on and 2 outs. Stroop will yank one foul. Make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here. Yesterday, Griffins lost a heartbreaker to Central Missouri. A score of 5-4. Griffins were up for the vast majority of the game. They were up 4-3 up until the bottom of the 8th, and then 2 runs scored. Excuse me, 4-3 until the bottom of the 8th, and 2 runs scored by Central Missouri gave the Mules the win. The 2-2 on its way to Stroop, and it's going to be a front door slider that locks up Stroop's knees. He goes down looking, strike 3 for the 3rd out. That will end the inning. So no runs, no hits, nobody left on, even though a 1-out walk was drawn by Josh Robinson. At the end of half an inning, it's Missouri Western nothing, Emporia State coming up. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
We've got our heads in the game,
our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
At our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA. MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Bottom of the first, score is 0-0. 1, 2, 3 essentially went the Griffins in the top of the first. Josh Robinson was able to draw a one-out walk, but then he was caught trying to steal second. A strong throw from Cooper Minnick down to Josh Norland, the shortstop. Eliminated that, and then Dusty Stroop went down looking at the third strike. Starting pitcher for the Griffins is going to be Jacob Pearl. And the first batter he's going to face against Emporia State will be the second baseman, Brian Grove. Rest of the Emporia State lineup, it's Brian Grove, the second baseman, batting first. Catcher Cooper Minnick bats second. Aaron Dees, the right fielder, will bat third. Hitting cleanup, the center fielder Connor Hurst. Designated hitter Tucker Perkins is fifth. Third baseman Paul Clausen bats sixth. Tanner Arts at first will bat seventh. Josh Norland, shortstop, batting eighth. And Mitch Sloan in left field bats ninth. So now it'll be Pearl against Grove. Grove will watch a two-seamer miss high and outside, ball one. On the year, Pearl has made 14 appearances. 11 of them have been starts. He's gone 2-2 on the year, wins and losses. The 1-0 is swung on and missed over the top of by Grove. Pearl has one save. Not very long throwing. He's got 62 1/3 innings thus far. The 1-1 will be fouled out of play. Run the count to 1-2 strikes. Wind is blowing from about dead on center field out toward the right field foul pole. Not very conducive for home runs, which is what makes Krebs' solo shot in the ninth to win it in the game prior all the more impressive. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Grove tried to check his swing on a high fastball but was unable to do so. Went around. That's the first out of the bottom of the first. Nice strikeout registered there by Pearl. Threw a fastball and was just at about the letters, and by the time Grove realized where it was, he could not lay off. So now he'll be facing off against the catcher Cooper Minnick, and Minnick will lay off that same pitch that Grove went down swinging on. Defensively for the Griffins, the 1-0 right down Main Street, strike one. It's Pearl and Will Jeebus as the battery. Going from first to third, it's Curry, Pitch, Day, and Stroop. Then left to right, Shaquille Robinson and Danley. And there's a curveball that did not break near enough for Pearl and nearly hits Minnick. Minnick spinning out of the way to avoid being plunked. They'll run the count to 2-1 strike. Jeebus getting the start today behind the plate after coming in relief yesterday. The 2-1 will nab the outside corner, running it 2-2. Kyle Snoocher was who started yesterday for the Griffins behind the dish. And Jeebus came in as a pinch runner for Snoocher in the seventh. The 2-2 is sent deep into left, drifting back and getting underneath it is Shaquille for out number 2. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for the Hornets here in the bottom of the first, and Aaron Dees, the right fielder, will step in. Hornets, for their part yesterday, lost a 5-4 bout against host Pittsburgh State. Game that saw momentum swing back and forth wildly between the two teams. The 1-0 on the way, nabbing the outside corner, all square at one apiece. Game started with the Hornets taking a 1-0 lead in the first, and in the bottom of the second, Pittsburgh State scored 3. The 1-1 missing outside. Emporia State responded in kind with 3 of their own in the top of the third. They had a 4-3 lead up until the 5th inning when Pittsburgh State tied the game at 4-4, and then late in the game they won 5-4. Three balls and 1 strike on Dees, the right fielder for the Hornets, and he will foul it back into the net and dig back into the left-hand batter's box. Dees, a .311 hitter on the year. He's played in 48 of the Emporia State games that they've had thus far. The 3-2, high and outside, ball 4. Aaron Dees is able to work a 2-out walk to extend the inning and bring up Connor Hurst, the center fielder. So now we'll see how Pearl can work out of the stretch. He'll come set after setting his foot down a couple times and deal a strike. And Hurst is able to foul off right into the netting. So getting ahead 1, no balls and 1 strike. Great start to this at bat for Pearl. Conservative leave over at first by Dees, but he'll still draw a throw. And diving back in just ahead of it is Dees. Long look in at Jeebus by Pearl. Eventually gets a sign that he likes. He'll come set. Kick his leg and deal and miss high. 1-1. And thus far, Pearl has been fighting his command up and down more so than left or right. Have to dial in that release point soon, or else Griffin's seasons will be over. The 1-1, that's a late breaking ball that Hurst is unable to come into contact with. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. That just snapped right at the very end. And there was no way for Hurst to be able to get a piece of it. Long check of the runner at first. Now he'll wind and deal, and fastball slipping high out of the hands of Pearl. We'll even it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here. Still no score. There's a runner on first. It's Dees, the right fielder. Mid-50s here. Another throw over. Dees once more diving back in just ahead of the throw. Hardest part about these first 2 days of the tournament for everyone involved is the fact that you start out the MWSU season in February when it's frigid cold, and you learn how to deal with that. Then it slowly warms up for you, which is nice, so you can work around that no problem. But in mid-May, you're already used to playing games that are in the mid-70s to low 80s at times, and having to readjust to dealing with mid-50s is difficult, especially for a pitcher, where you need all the feeling possible in your fingers to grip the ball properly. The 2-2 once more on the way. That's a breaking ball. That is able to break down, but it stays up. So that'll run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And you will see the runner Dees at first take off. Once Pearl has committed it to home, Curry still holding him on. A little bit unique in that aspect. 3-2 on the way. Dees takes off, and Hurst is going to be rung up. Connor Hurst chucked his bat thinking he was going to draw a 2-out walk, and instead he is punched out and will head back to the dugout with nothing to show for that at bat, and it was right there at the knees on the outside corner for the final out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, and 1 runner left for the Hornets in the bottom of the first. To the second we go. Score 0-0. Back with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
It's the top of the second, still no score. Leading things off for the Griffins is going to be Brooks Day, the shortstop. Starting pitcher Jake Barton of Emporia State able to face the minimum as Josh Robinson, even though he worked a lot, was cut down trying to steal second. Brooks Day will watch a big sweeping curveball miss well low and away. Ball 1. After Day, it'll be Curry and Shaquille. The 1-0. Once more, the big breaker. This one is able to catch it at strike zone at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Winding and dealing is Barton, and that's a fastball that runs up and in. It's 2 balls and 1 strike here. There, Day, a stalwart hitter thus far for Missouri Western. Hitting .233, but has some serious pop with 6 home runs. 2-1 missing, 3-1 now. Day was the second baseman for the last couple years, but got moved to short after having some midseason hitting slumps, and the 3-1 almost clips Day on the belt that far inside, so he'll draw a leadoff walk. Back-to-back innings. The Griffins have a runner on courtesy of the walk. See if they can take advantage of it this inning where they were unable to capitalize in the first. And bring up the left-handed hitting Andrew Curry. At the stretch now is Barton, and he'll pull up a high leg kick and miss low, ball 1. Andrew Curry, the senior, hitting .231 this year with 6 home runs of his own. And he also has 4 doubles. Pickoff throw over to first, diving back in safely is Day. Barton will check Day at first as he comes set. And now he takes off. Day fakes the steal. Popping out of his crouch was Minnick. Ball was low. And Minnick had to be extra aggressive with that. As with Curry being a left-handed hitter, he cannot see if the runner is actually taking off or not. Has to rely on his bench and his teammates. The 2-0. Just a bit low, 3 balls and no strikes on Curry. It's the 6th consecutive ball thrown by Barton, and because of that, Minnick will come on out and have a bit of a chat with his pitcher. Andrew Curry coming back from an injury last year that forced him to miss all of the 2018 campaign for the Griffins. Has bounced back nicely. 234 batting average, a 389 on base percentage. The 3-0 was right down Main Street. Curry taking all the way. Will run the count 3 balls and 1 strikes. Still nobody out. A runner on first, which is Day. The score is 0-0 here in the top of the second. Check over on Day as he dives back in safely. Surrey Western loves to get out and put pressure on the opposition on the base paths. Not necessarily with straight steals, but also with hit and runs. On the year, Day is 3 of 4 in stolen base opportunities. The 3-1 well inside. Curry will pirouette out of the way, a very slow pirouette, but draw the walk, and now back-to-back walks to begin this second. Put runners on first and second with nobody out. Now the left fielder, Fad Shaquille, will dig in. Shaquille this year a .327 hitter, 53 hits, and 16 of them have been for extra bases. He'll watch a big old dropping curveball bounce in the dirt, 4-1. Jake Barton fighting his control here in the second inning after having a relatively stress-free first. Running through all his signs is Minnick to try and make sure that Day at second doesn't steal them. The 1-0 swing around to bunt is Shaquille. He'll bunt it foul. Didn't quite stay on top of the baseball, and so it bounced foul along the first baseline. Second baseman Grove is in charge of keeping Day close to the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on, nobody out. In yesterday's game against Central Missouri, Shaquille was 0 for 3 officially, having flown out to center, struck out looking, and grounding out to short. He was also hit by a pitch. The 1-1 will miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good hitters count. Emphasis of pitchers is to get that first strike, but there's also an emphasis when you get to the first 3 pitches, you're ahead 1-2 as opposed to 2-1. Shaquille will send it deep into center, drifting back and swirling around from his Hurst. He gets behind it, catching it. Day tags from second. He's going to get to third as Hurst's throw will go to second base and keep Curry there. Sacrifice hit, moves up Brooks Day 90 feet and puts him at third base, and a chance to be driven in with the designated hitter Wyatt Meyer coming up.
Number 33, Wyatt Meyer.
So that's runners at the corners with 1 out here in the top of the second. Surrey Western, a golden opportunity here to score. Meyer launches a big curveball missed low, and Barton seems to be emphatic on establishing that breaking ball early. Pitching a little backwards. Normally you'll go hard stuff, fastballs to begin with batters and then go with the soft stuff, your breaking balls later. Barton doing the opposite of that, throwing a fastball at the shoulders of Meyer that he couldn't catch up to. Myers, for his part yesterday, was 1 for 4. He singled in the second, later scored, and it was 2 ground balls to the shortstop, and he grounded into a double play. The 1-2 check swing by Meyer doesn't matter. Pitch was in there. Strike 2. And this right here is, in the early goings, a big turning point for momentum. See if Meyer can get a hit here. The 1-2, low, 2-2. Took a step as if he was going to swing on that breaking ball that dropped down, but decided against it. So now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first is Curry. The runner at third, Day, for the Griffins here in the top of the second. The 2-2, that's a big breaker that is caught and ends up in the zone, but by the time it crossed the plate, it was about the shoulders of Meyer. So that will run the count full. Middle infield set up for a double play for Emporia State. Outfield straight away. The wind is now shifted and blowing straight in from right. Barton will get the sign from Minnick, and taking off from first is Curry. The ball is skied. Curry gonna have to hustle to get back. Fighting the wind is Clausen, the third baseman. He calls for it and is able to make the catch. Standing on the bag at third was Day, but it wasn't nearly deep enough to score him. So that pop fly into very shallow left field. Nabbed by Clausen, the third baseman, and that makes it 2 outs with runners at the corners for the catcher, Will Jeebus. Jeebus, as I mentioned, came in as a pinch runner in the 7th for Kyle Snutcher, who started the game. But in his one at-bat, Jeebus hit a single. It was in the 9th inning as the Griffins were trying to come back and tie the game up. Ultimately fell a little bit short. 1 ball, no strikes. And they're going to do a soft step over and toss to check on Curry at first. I think that perhaps Curry might break early and try and do a double steal with Day over at third. Try and get Day home. Curry this year 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts. That does not go often, but he picks his spots well. Jeebus will swing on a breaking ball that snaps away from him and out of the path of his barrel head. Makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Barton will come set and deliver. That's a big old curveball. That will paint the outside black, and now Jeebus will have to really dig deep and battle to stay alive. Barton once more gets a sign from the catcher, Minnick. Comes set and deal. Jeebus will ground it to the left side of the infield. It's picked up by third baseman Clausen over to first in time, and that will do it for the Griffins in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, 2 runners left. To the bottom of the second we go. Score still tied 0-0. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network. It's the bottom of the second. Still no score and no hits even, as all base runners have reached via the walk thus far in this game. In the bottom of the second, leading things off for the Hornets, it's going to be the designated hitter Tucker Perkins. He'll be followed by third baseman Paul Clausen, and rounding it out, the first baseman Tanner Arnst. Coming out for his second inning of work is Pearl. Pearl got 2 strikeouts in the first inning. 1 swinging, 1 looking. First pitch to Perkins is well low, bouncing into the glove of Jeebus, ball 1. Griffins today wearing their black uniforms with white letters outlined in yellow. as well as the numerals in the back that are white, outlined in yellow, but on the front, underneath where it says Western, it's yellow numerals with white outlining, gray pants to complete the outfit. The 1-1 is fouled. Out of play along the first baseline, hitting the front of the Griffin dugout. Borea State, for their part, white pants with the metallic gold tops that say East State in black outlined in white, as well as numerals that are black and outlined in white. The 1-2 is fouled out of play. So we will stay put here. Perkins, left-hand hitter, very much old school with no batting gloves. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and a nice two-seam fastball ran away from Perkins, and he was unable to even get the bat head on to knock it away. First out of the second inning, as well as the third strikeout of the game thus far for Jacob Pearl. Pearl had struck out 86 batters coming into today. And the first pitch over to Paul Clausen is sent down the line and right, and catching it is the right fielder Danley for out number 2. First 2 batters faced, first 2 batters retired for Pearl. Needs to keep up that efficiency if he wants to have a chance to go deep into this ball game. Much like Carson Dwyer did yesterday. Dwyer got into the 7th, having only given up 3 runs. But then it all kind of went apart for him and the Griffins. Get the sign, does Pearl, and that's a curveball that stays up. Ball 1, even things up at 1-1. Second baseman pitch is behind the brown turf that indicates the dirt in his second base position. Playing back that far, going to give himself a little bit more room, as balls play very fast on turf when you compare it to dirt and grass. Arst fouls off the pitch, and now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pearl will get a new ball and step it in and watch a ball at his eyes cross over the heart of the plate, but it's much too high. Pearl, a bit of a control issue, has 52 walks on the year along with 7 wild pitches, but he's not the only one who has been struggling with walks. The 2-2 is grounded toward the third baseman Stroop. He's unable to pick it up. Day will grab it, but he has no chance to throw out. Orange, who was busting it out of the batter's box. It's going to be an error on Dusty Stroop at third. So still no one has reached base by an official hit yet, but that's the first runner who got to the bases without having drawn a walk. And the shortstop, Josh Norland, will come in. He'll ground the first pitch he sees over to the left, cut off by Stroop, who fields it cleanly this time and will sling it over to Curry at first for the final out. No runs, no hits, 1 runner left at the end of 2. The score is still 0-0. Back after this with more Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Al Ortolani Field in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Top of the third here. Griffins and the Hornets of Emporia State tied at 0. Neither team has had a hit yet. All the base runners have come via the walk, except for in the bottom of the second, an error by Dusty Schroop allowed Tanner Arch to reast. So it's the number 9 hitter, Zach Pitch, stepping into the left-hand batter's box to try and get things started for the Griffins. He'll square around as if to bunt and take a ball as it popped out of the catcher's mitt of Minnick. And I think if Minnick holds on to that, that might be a strike. Starting pitcher Jake Barton for Emporia State, working quickly, which is good for the defense as it keeps them on their toes and keeps them in the game, especially when it's a bit chilly like this. The 1-0 right down there through the zone, 1 ball, 1 strike. Then he'll follow that up with a slow breaking ball that also ends up through the heart of the strike zone, and it's 1 ball, 2 strike on pitch. Pitch on the air, little struggling. He'll take the 1-2, send it into shallow right, and drifting back and almost falling over as he makes the catch is the second baseman Grove. He was playing deeper behind the brown turf that designates the infield, and he had to run to his left, almost overran it as the ball pushed it back toward his right as he was drifting back, and he was eventually able to right himself just enough to make the catch. And that is out number 1. And we will go back to the top of the order with Casey Danley, who grounded out too short to begin the game. His first pitch of this at-bat is a ball outside. Danley against the Mules was 3 for 4, should be 3 for 5, with 2 singles and a double. However, he also struck out in the crucial 9th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Danley, and the ball is low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Barton will get the sign from Minnick. Go through the windup, and it's fouled straight back and out of play by Danley. Danley right on it, just a little underneath it. The 2-2, big curveball that started outside and off the plate and continued to move away into the left-hand batter's box. Danley spits on it easily, right in the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Third baseman Clausen about a step and a dive off the line, and Casey Danley will draw a 1-out walk after being down in the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Comes back up and earns the walk. Brings up Josh Robinson, who walked in his first plate appearance. But then trying to steal second was thrown out by Minnick. Down to Emporia State's shortstop, Norland. Not looking to walk here. Robinson will take a mighty swing and foul it over the netting. No balls and 1 strike on Missouri Western center fielder. The 0-1 thought about bunting, did Robinson, but when he realized how far outside that curveball was, he let it go. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 on and 1 out. Here in the third, still no score. Missouri Western, the visiting team, lost a coin toss. Danley's going to take off on a hit and run. It's going to be botched. Robinson lines it into right field where it's caught by Dees, and Dees makes a strong throw over to first to double off Danley. A botched hit and run And no communication from the Griffin bench sees Casey Danley dumbled off of first. That was a strong stroke into right field from Robinson, but right at Dees, and Dees did not waste any movement, caught it and threw it over to first. So at the end of 2.5, score remains 0-0. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Leading off, left fielder number 8. Sloan.
Bottom of the third, score is still 0-0. Pearl out there to start his third inning of work, and he's quickly ahead of the left fielder Mitch Sloan. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 on the way to Sloan. In there, Sloan checked his swing, started like he was going to just try and flick the bat head at it and keep it alive. Instead stops, and it's right through the heart of the strike zone. 4th strikeout of the game registered thus far by Jacob Pearl. Now the batter is going to be Brian Grove. Grove struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the first inning. He'll swing over the top of a fastball from Pearl to start this battle. Long look in at his catcher Jeebus from Pearl. Now he'll go into his windup and throw a cutter that nabs the inside corner after Grove gave up on it, moving from the middle of the plate. So it's no balls and 2 strikes. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. That ball will be sent into shallow left field, cut off by Robinson, and he slings it into shortstop Day. So a 2-strike single. That is the first hit of the game for the Hornets, as well as the first hit between the two teams. Having a little bit of trouble when he first got to it was Robinson, but he took his time, picked it up with the bare hand, and then got it in quickly. That kept Grove at first. Now it's the catcher Cooper Minnick, and an overthrow from Pearl as he spikes it in the brown turf right behind home. I mentioned that Pearl has 7 wild pitches on the year, and for reasons like that, just because he tries to do a little too much, the 1-0 getting way underneath it is Minnick, and settling under and grabbing it with 2 hands is the first baseman Curry for out number 2. That's going to bring up Aaron Dees, who drew a walk back in the first. Dees on the year for Emporia State, a .311 hitter with 11 doubles and 11 home runs. So he has plenty of power. Griffin bench hanging over the protective barrier in front of their dugout, except for the pitchers who are already down in the bullpen, knowing that Today is win or go home. Conservative lead over at first by Brian Grove. Check of him by Pearl. Now Grove is going to take off, and a high throw down to second, reaching up to snag it is Day, and he tried to apply the tag on Grove, thinking Grove had slid past the bag. But Brian Grove was able to keep his toe on second base. It will be a stolen base. The count now 2 balls and no strikes. It's not a bad idea for the Griffins. They know Grove has a penchant to take off on the base paths, as he has attempted 22 stolen bases and made 17 of them prior to that one. So they tried a pitch out, but it wasn't a straight fastball pitch out. It was a little bit of a breaking ball pitch out, and that was all that it was needed for Grove to get to second. Now with 2 balls and no strikes and first base open, they will intentionally walk Aaron Dees and bring up Connor Hurst. Hurst, a significantly weaker hitter at 279, and he will foul the first pitch out of play. A little frustrated they didn't get that one better. However, Hurst has more pop in his bat, as he has 14 doubles and 12 home runs. So what he lacks in on-base and contact, he definitely has in the power position. And now a front door pickoff attempt by Pearl, and he kind of spikes it in the dirt. It is blocked actually by Grove as he dives back in head first. Pitch the second baseman was the cover man and didn't quite get there in time to field it cleanly. Runners on first and second with 2 out. No balls and 1 strike on the batter, Connor Hurst. And Jacob Pearl will blow a fastball right by him, and holy cow, there was no way that Hurst was going to catch up with that one. And as I said, on the inside pickup, on the front door pickoff play to second, Pearl just got a little too antsy and didn't trust his throw and ended up spiking it into the dirt. Now it's 2 balls, no balls and 2 strikes on Hurst, and that's a breaking ball that stays letter high and dives outside. Jeebus will step out of his crouch to grab it, make sure it doesn't get to the backstop. So it becomes 1 ball and 2 strikes. A runner at second, Grove. The runner at first, Dees for Emporia State. Hurst up there trying to break the deadlock. Pearl comes set, checks Groves a second, checks him a second time, kicks and fires just high and outside. Straight line fastball, but just outside of it. Pearl, an impressive presence on the mound, as he just looks physically imposing, especially when you look at him in the face. Has a look of absolute concentration and tenacity. But from we've seen with a couple pitches that he has spiked in the dirt, as well as that spike pickoff attempt, can be a little erratic at times. Not what you would expect from a senior who has been through the rigors of college baseball for 4 years. But his raw talent, his ability to get strikeouts, supersedes that. The 2-2 high, again another fastball, but it was well up, and that'll run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. You'll see Grove and Dees take off from second and first respectively. Pearl takes a deep breath before getting back on the rubber. Jeebus runs to the sides. Pearl will come set and deal. Both runners take off, and it's ball 4. They're going to check down to third to see if Hurst went around. See if Hurst went around. He did not. So back-to-back 2-out walks have the bases loaded. And now the designated hitter, Tucker Perkins, will dig in. And this is not how this game needed to be started for the Griffins. Because of the situation, there are a couple players down in the bullpen who are getting up, starting to walk around and stretch, get the blood flowing and loosen up, knowing that it's no day after today if you lose, being ready for anything. Tucker Perkins' first pitch is a fastball. That catches the outside corner, no balls and 1 strike. The 0-1, that's fouled back into the net. So now it's no balls and 2 strikes. Pearl, with his strikeout ability, needs to get one here. Coming in today, Pearl is striking out 12.42 per 9, which is a bit misleading considering he's struck out 86 in only 62 1/3 innings of work. And there is a massive show of his strength as he throws a 2-seamer that misses wide. So now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes against Perkins. Pearl get the sign from Jeebus. And just missing the outside corner with that 2-seamed. Now makes it 2 ball and 2 strikes. Perkins stays in the left-hand batter's box. Wooden mills the bat around, now sets it on his shoulder, waiting for Pearl to deliver the pitch. Pearl kicks his knees and it's foul, sent down the line and left, and it will get out of play, ending up in the bullpen for Emporia State down the left field line. So we're going to stay here at 2 balls and 2 strikes with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Still no score in the bottom of the 3rd. Emporia State up to bat. Jacob Pearl, knowing he's got a short leash today, trying to maximize all that he gets. The 2-2. Just below the knees, 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Pearl is missing around the zone, but not by much. He is right there, maybe a baseball width off in any direction. Count is full. Runners will be moving on the pitch. Jeebus flashes the sign, sets the target. Pearl checks. The runners come set, swung on and missed. Pulls off a 2-seamer, and Perkins swings through it, and he can't believe it, standing in the box as he grips the baseball bat before walking toward the Emporia State dugout. So working out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam, Pearl able to dial up the strikeout he needs. At the end of 3, there's still no score between the Griffins and the Hornets. Back with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
Hasty Awards has been proud to be the official award supplier to the MIAA for 7 years, and we're happy to supply you and your organization with all your award needs. Whether you're ordering for your individual youth sports team or placing a custom medal order, we have you covered. As always, you have our lowest price guarantee, highest quality awards, exceptional service, and our hasty turnaround. We are ready to serve you for your next event, no matter how large or small. Hasty Awards is the #1 source for all your award and recognition needs.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
It's top of the 4th. We're still looking for the first run of the game, although now there are ones in some specific columns that aren't runners left on base. The Griffins have committed 1 error, meanwhile the Hornets have had 1 hit. Leading things off for the Griffins in the top of the 4th will be Dusty Stroop. Fouls it way down the line in right foul. Stroop in his first at-bat was punched out looking on a front door slider from Jacob Barton, and now he'll go from the right field line to the left field line, screaming in front of the new baseball facility built for the Pittsburgh State University baseball team here at Al Ortolani Field, host of this year's 2019 MIAA Baseball Championship. The 0-2 is a fastball that misses on the outside corner. Stroop gave it a long look and then let it go. On deck, the batter is Brooks Day. And now the 1-2 once more, line down the line and left. It'll one hop the short fence and get out of play. Stroop was the everyday shortstop for the Griffins his freshman and sophomore years, but this year he was struggling with some errors at that position, so they moved him to third. And once again, Stroop is going to be front-doored with a slider. He's not happy with it, pointing where he says the ball was. In contention to the home plate umpire, Matt Ossenfort. So now there's one out and nobody on in the top of the fourth. Brooks Day will come up. He drew a walk back in the second. Wanting to get on any way that he can here, start a Griffin rally. And a big old breaking ball misses below the knees, ball one. Day last year was the everyday second baseman and won a gold glove for the MIAA. And after having a mid-season slump, was benched and moved to shortstop. The 1-0 was yanked foul third, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Day yesterday against Central Missouri was 1 for 4. His lone hit a single in the first inning, and then after that, he flew out to left, grounded out to short, and struck out swinging. 1-1 missing, 2 balls, 1 strike. The 2-1, he'll miss low and away, 3 balls and 1 strike. Day being very patient up there at the plate. Day has 20 walks this year, and he'll almost pick up walk number 21. That one was on the very lower outside corner. Day took half a step toward first, thinking he had drawn ball 4, but then the umpire signaled it was a strike, so the count will run full. The 3-2 swung on and missed. Swing over the top of a bottom dropping curveball was Day, and back-to-back strikeouts to start off the fourth. How Missouri Western has done in this 4th inning. Day not happy with that. And he swung over the top, immediately dejected. So now Andrew Curry will come up. Curry also drew a walk in the 2nd inning, but he was left stranded at first. And the first pitch that he sees from Barton here is a strike. Score 0-0 in the top of the 4th. 2 outs, nobody on. The balls and 1 strike on the Griffins, Andrew Curry. The 0-1 bouncing on top of home. 1 ball and 1 strike now. As I mentioned yesterday, Curry had a bit of a rough day. The 1-1, that's a snapping breaking ball. That will fall through the zone. Curry had a sac fly in the first, and that scored Dusty Stroop to give the Griffins a 2-0 lead, but after that, grounded out to first twice, then was hit by a pitch. The 1-2 rolls over at foul. It's also worth noting that in that second ground out to first, Curry in the middle of the at-bat fouled off a ball while having his finger smashed at the same time. They took a lot of time checking it to make sure that it wasn't broke. 1-2. Little miss below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Overall for his career, Andrew Curry, a .238 hitter with 8 home runs. The 2-2 in the dirt, bouncing away. Quickly looking for was the catcher Minnick, thinking that Curry might have offered at it with his check swing, but the home plate umpire says that Curry did not go around. So that's 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. Curry trying to do what he can to get on base. Long look in to his catcher Minnick by Barton. The 3-2, and that's a slow breaking ball, and Curry swings over the top. And Jake Barton strikes out the side in the 4th. 1-2-3 go the Griffins to the bottom of the 4th. There's still 0-0. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
We've got our heads in the game,
Our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
at our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA. MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
It's the bottom of the 4th, still no score between the Griffins and the Hornets. Wind picking up, blowing from center field to the right field foul pole. Coming out for his 4th inning is Pearl, and he will face off against Paul Clausen to begin the bottom of the 4th. Watching ball 1 miss. Half a dozen players up in the Griffin bullpen, tossing and playing catch, all of them with their warm-ups off. A 1-0, missing 2 balls and no strikes. None are on the mound yet for the Griffins, but they are all up and tossing to be ready at a moment's notice. The 2-0. That'll be a strike at the knees against Clausen. His last at bat, Paul Clausen flew out to Danley in right for the second out of the second. 2-1, and it was overthrown by Pearl. He knows it as he stomped around off the mound, frustrated with himself. He knows what the situation is and that this could potentially be his last game, but he really has to dig down. 3-1 is a check swing, but unable to hold off was Clausen. Broke the front part of the plate as he tried to hold up. So the count now is full at 3-2. And he'll ground it off the dirt in front of home over to Day at short. Strong throw over to first in time for out number 1, beginning this bottom of the 4th inning. Tanner Arntz, the first baseman, will stride to the plate. As I said, the winner of this game will play tomorrow at 9 against the loser of Central Oklahoma and Missouri Southern, who play immediately following this game at 4 o'clock. First pitch to Arntz, just off the plate, ball 1. Arntz reached via an error in the second, but didn't get beyond first. The 1-0 is high and in, as Arntz kind of bending backwards out of the way. But now it's a full-on hitter's count with the ball 2 balls and no strikes. And Arntz will take a big hack and just foul it backwards off the home plate umpire. Arntz frustrated that he didn't do more with that one. Taps the barrel of the bat in front of home a few times as he's still on his knee. And he'll step out of the box, compose himself, and get back in. The 2-1 from Pearl to Arntz. That's fouled off the inside part of the ankle of Jeebus, and Jeebus will stand locked-legged as he tries to fight through the pain, especially now that it's this cold. Home plate umpire Matt Ossenfort will walk out a brand new baseball to Jacob Pearl, and allow Jeebus a little bit of time to recover himself, and that was a wicked foul ball off the inside portion of the ankle. It appeared to be about where the ankle bone sits on the foot. That's where it hit Jeebus. 2-2 is a spinning breaking ball that stays up. 3-2. Rounding out the umpiring crew, at first is Cannon Strobel, and at third is Ryan Carley. The 3-2. That one sent high into the air. Medium deep center field. Robinson will track it and come through it with one hand to catch it for out number 1. Excuse me, out number 2. Josh Norland is up now. And the shortstop grounded out to third to end the second inning. Still no score here in the bottom of the 4th. There are 2 outs and nobody on. Both Missouri Western and Emporia State fighting for their lives here. Pearl will throw a 2-seamer that has lots of good movement, but unfortunately it moves so good it was well outside the strike zone. The 1-0. That's a straight fastball in on the hands of Norland, and Norland can only fist it to the backstop. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike now with 2 outs. Pearl will kick and deal. The 1-1 sent into shallow left center field. Robinson will come over, take charge, and put it away for out number 3. We have completed 4. We still have no score. To the top of the 5th. You're listening to Missouri Western Baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Top of the 5th, the score is still 0-0 between Missouri Western and Emporia State. Leading things off for the Griffins in the top of the 5th. It's going to be the left fielder, Fa Shaquille. Shaquille laid down, had a sacrifice hit to deep center field in his first plate appearance. That was in the second inning. It moved Brooks Day from second base to third. However, nothing came of it as Day was left stranded. Yesterday, against the Mules, Shaquille was 0 for 3 with a strikeout looking, although he did reach with a hit by pitch. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Shaquille, following his long rip of a foul ball down the left field line. Infield, all on the left side to counter Shaquille. Hornets second baseman Grove is standing right behind the second base bag. Clausen, the third baseman, is a step off the line, and then splitting the distance between the two is Norland, the shortstop. The 1-2 is a curveball on the inside. Shaquille turning with it to avoid being hit. That'll make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 is low check swing. They're going to say that Shaquille went around, and he can't believe it after the appeal. He's down on one knee, frustrated with it, and then he was tagged out by the catcher Minnick. And Shaquille muttering as he walks back to the dugout. And Shaquille might have checked his swing. I can see a replay from the television broadcast on the MIAA network, and it was very close, but they say he went around. Now a ground ball by the designated hitter Meyer into deep second, where Grove was positioned in shallow right field, has him ground out 4-3. Just like that, it's 2 up and 2 down for the Griffins as they are here in the top of the 5th. So Will Jeebus will step in, trying to keep the inning alive for the Griffins. First pitch that he sees from Jake Barton is a breaking ball that spins out of Barton's hands and stays up, forcing McKinnick to come out of his crouch. The 1-0 is a bigger breaking ball that bounces in front of the plate this time, and McKinnick, trying to get out of his crouch to smother it, has it hit him on the inside part of the knee. Thankfully, because it was just a breaking ball, didn't really hit him too hard. 2 balls and no strikes on Jeebus here in the top of the 5th, no score. Jeebus will ground it to second baseman Grove, who is just to the first base side of second. Ball pops out of Grove's glove momentarily, but then is tossed over to first in time. 1, 2, 3, go the Griffins once again here in Pittsburgh at Al Ortolani Field. At the end of 4.5, still 0-0. Back with more Missouri Western baseball after this here on the Griffin Sports Network.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Bottom of the 5th, score still 0-0, and following game after this one, we'll see Central Oklahoma Broncos take on the Missouri Southern State University Lions. Missouri Southern already here, leaning up against the fence, scouting out potential competition if one of these teams can make it all the way out of the losers bracket. Leading things off for the Hornets in the bottom of the 5th is Mitch Sloan, and he will ground it back to Jacob Pearl on the mound for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. So go up to the top of the order, and Brian Grove. Great job by Pearl to field his position, as it was a bit of a rough chopper bouncing off the front of home and then toward the mound. Pearl's first pitch to Grove is soared into left field, going over Shaquille and Robinson, and Shaquille, the left fielder, will grab it for out number 1. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Now the batter will be Cooper Minnick, who is 0 for 2, having flown out to left and popped out to third. He'll watch strike 1 go by. The mythical 3-pitch inning still eludes us. The 0-1 swing around the bunt is Minnick, and he'll pull back. They wanted an appeal down at first, did Jeebus, but does not get it. Home plate umpire says that Minnick pulled it back in plenty of time. Jacob Pearl thrown 76 pitches thus far. The 1-1 is high. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Long look in at Jeebus by Pearl. Now he'll wind and deal. Once more throwing that hard fastball, but it's staying up over the top of the zone, and Emporia State is laying off of it, not chasing. The 3-2 now on the 3-1, excuse me, now on the way from Pearl. It's grounded to the shortstop Day, who will field it cleanly and toss over to first to finish the inning with no score still. We've completed 5, score 0-0. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network. Masterful pitchers duel here in Pittsburgh this afternoon between the Missouri Western Griffins and the Emporia State Hornets. Jacob Pearl has only allowed 5 base runners, done since the the bottom of the 4th for the Hornets. It's Jake Barton, who hasn't allowed a base runner since going back to the 2nd. Zach pitch will lead things off, and no sooner have I said that Barton hasn't allowed a base runner. He drills pitch to begin the top of the 6th, and that's really got to hurt with how cold it is right now. Now we're going to have a pinch runner for the Griffins. Owen Monty, I believe, is over there at first now. It is indeed Nolan Monty coming in to run for Zach pitch, with Casey Danley the batter. Monty came in as a pinch runner yesterday, but was not able to have much happen as a result. Got left stranded. First pitch to Danley is a strike. Danley 0 for 1 officially. He grounded out to short to begin the game. And he drew a walk in his last plate appearance. The back pick off, and diving back in just ahead of the throw is Monty. That was very close. Monty had an aggressive secondary lead and got back just in time. Slipped a little bit on the turf as he was heading back for his dive. That made it a little closer than it probably needed to be. The 1-1 swing around the bunt is Danley. He'll pull back, take ball 2. Quickly popping out of his crouch was Minnick. Thinking about throwing down to first and trying to get Monty a second time. Two balls and one strike now on the right-handed hitting right fielder. And a throw over to first, straight from the hand of Barton. Diving back in safe is Monty. No one warming up in Emporia's bullpen. Barton has thrown 79 pitches at this point in the game, so still relatively fresh to work on later into this game. And now Monty will take off, hit and run, execute to perfection, hitting the vacated hole by Grove. Danley will end up at first with the single, and going to third is Monty. Beautifully executed hit and run there by the Griffins. Monty took off on the pitch, and Danley had a pitch that was low, so all he needed to do is just throw the bat head at it. He did just that and got it just beyond the reach of the second baseman, Grove, who had taken off to cover second base, with Monty leaving first. So runners at the corners with nobody out for the Griffins here in the top of the 6th. Their best chance of the game yet. They had runners at the corners in the second inning with one out, and nothing ever came of it. Josh Robinson is the batter. He'll foul off first pitch of this at-bat. Robinson drew a walk in the first, was later caught trying to steal, and then he flew out to right in the third. No score here in the top of the 6th. Missouri Western threatening. Infield somewhat brought in, at least at the corners, by the Hornets to try and cut down Monty from third if he should go. Middle infielders still set back up for a double play. The 0-1 bouncing in front of home, smothered by Minnick. Makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. Robinson doesn't need to do too much today, just find a ball he can elevate and get to the outfield. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that does not move enough horizontally, stays outside. 2 balls and 1 strike here. And that single by Danley was the first hit for the Griffins of this game. They'd gotten thus far having been no hit, their only runners having come via the walk or hit by batter. Excuse me, hit by pitch. The 2-1 foul. Robinson took a nice healthy swing and wasn't able to make solid contact, and then sending it out of play down the left field line. After Robinson, it'll be Stroop. And just a little late on that, going well down the line on left, was Robinson's foul ball. The 2-2. Big breaking ball staying outside. 3-2 trying to frame it was Minnick, but he had to fall down to his left knee in order to catch it. So an easy ball call by the home plate umpire. Count now full with nobody out and runners at the corners here in the top of the 6th. The 3-2. That's going to be grounded right back to the pitcher. Now they're going to catch Monty off a third. No, Monty dives back in safely. It was a line drive comebacker, excuse me. Off the batter, Robinson just absolutely smoked right back at Barton. He caught it in a bit of a self-defensive maneuver at his waist. Then he threw it over to third to try and double off Monty, but Nolan Monty will dive back in just ahead of it. So there's one out now with runners at the corners. That's a huge out, as that means a double play can end the inning. Dusty Stroop, the batter. Throw over to first, and diving back in is Casey Danley. Danley last year, the everyday third baseman, They got moved to the outfield this year. Now Danley's going to take off from first, and it'll be sent into right. Danley's going to retreat to first. Dees gets behind it, makes the catch, tagging from third and trying to score, and he will score with a head-first slide. Is Nolan Monty to give the Griffins a 1-0 lead here in the 6th, breaking the deadlock. Great job there, knowing the situation and executing to perfection for Dusty Stroop. Didn't have to do anything too fancy, just had to get a ball deep into the outfield, and he did just that. And now the Griffins lead 1-0 here in the top of the 6th. There's still a runner on first, that's Danley, and the batter is going to be Brooks Day, the shortstop. Day 0 for 1 officially with a swinging strikeout, and he drew a walk in the 2nd inning. He will take a big swing and come up empty on that first pitch. Day, as I mentioned, was the everyday second baseman last year and won a Gold Glove in the MIAA. But some hitting woes put him on the bench, and they moved him to short to help shore up the defense as part of the compensation from the defensive woes of Stroop. No balls and 2 strikes here on Day. Danley will take off. Ball bounces in front of the plate. Popping out of his crouch to try and cut down Danley was Minnick, and as a result, he was unable to field the ball cleanly. It's a stolen base for Casey Danley, getting him to scoring position with 2 outs. That was Danley's 7th stolen base of this year in 9 tries. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Barton is low and away. Ball 2, 2-2 is the count. Two balls and 2 strikes. The pitch is just inside. Barton thought he had the strikeout, but he did not. So the count is now full on Brooks Day, the shortstop. He has a runner at second in Casey Danley. The Griffins lead 1-0 thanks to the sac fly by Dusty Stroop here in the top of the 6th. The 3-2. And it catches the inside corner, and Brooks Day thought he had a walk. He took off hard for first base, and he cannot believe it. But the Griffins do strike first here in the 6th inning. They're up 1-0. To the bottom of the 6th we go. It's Missouri Western 1, Emporia State 0. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Bottom of the 6th, Missouri Western manages to break through the 0-0 deadlock first, scoring 1 run on 1 hit in the top of the 6th. Sac fly from Dusty Stroop brings home Nolan Monty. Came in as a pinch runner for Zach Pitch after Pitch was hit by a pitch on the elbow. In the bottom of the 6th, Aaron Dees, the right fielder, is the first batter that Jacob Pearl will face to begin this 6th inning. Count is 2 balls and no strikes, following a check swing by Dees and appeal down to third. Said that Dees did indeed hold up. Monty stays in the game and playing at second after the pinch run for pitch. Foul ball out of play down the right field line. The left field line. As it be 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 well outside the strike zone, 3-1. There's a pitcher on the hill warming up down in the Griffin bullpen. And it appears to be Kellen Richards. The 3-1 also missing the zone, and it's a leadoff walk to Aaron Dees. And no sooner do the Griffins have the lead, and Jacob Pearl issues a free pass to begin the inning. And I'll bring up Connor Hurst. Short, conservative lead over there first by Dees. First pitch to Hurst is above the letters, ball 1. Outfield straight away defensively for the Griffins. Now mound visit will be called with Chivas and Stroop coming in to talk with Pearl. This is just to allow the pitcher down in the Missouri Western bullpen a chance to loosen up and get ready to come in the game. It appears to be another pitcher joining Kellen Richards up and tossing. Can't quite read who the right-hander is throwing alongside Richards. We'll see here in later. Richards probably warming up to face Tucker Perkins, who is in the on-deck circle for the Emporia State Hornets, as it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. A toss over to first. Diving back in is Dees. Count still 1 ball and no strike on Hurst here in the bottom of the 6th. The score 1-0. Missouri Western on top. The 1-0 is a fastball up in the zone that Connor Hurst cannot lay off of, and he will come up empty. In this game, Hurst has struck out looking, and he has drawn a walk. That is it. Walk came back in the 3rd inning. And also the inning where the Hornets got their lone hit. Foul ball, as it was tipped by Hurst and then went in and out of the glove of Jeebus. So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jeebus looking into the dugout to get the sign. Now he'll send it to his pitcher, Pearl. Pearl comes set, checks the runner at first, and deals, and it's soared up on the left side of the infield. Calling it as a shortstop Day. He's going to actually see control to Stroop, as Day couldn't see it in between the sun and the clouds. Day was able to read the ball much easier for the out. Taking off a couple hard steps at first as the pitch was thrown was Dees, but he's got to retreat to first base, following the pop out to the 3rd baseman. Now batter is Tucker Perkins, and staying in will be Pearl at the moment. Well, as I said, the left-handed throwing Kellen Richards is down in the bullpen. A throw over to first, and not quite in time. A quick pickoff move and a good look over there. Nearly had Dees napping. If that the pickoff, was a little better thrown, it was kind of bounced over to first. If that's on target, Curry's able to slap the tag on Dees, and that's a pickoff. First pitch to Tucker Perkins is a ball outside. Perkins is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging twice. Perkins, a left-hand hitter. Very deliberate in the batter's box. Another throw over to first, and this one much closer to the bag and actually kind of hits the heel of the mitt of Curry over there first and just kind of rolls away from him. Doesn't move far enough for Dees to take off for second, but it does not caught cleanly. Another pickoff throw, and diving back in Dees. Best pickoff move by the time of move and throw thus far by Pearl. But Aaron Dees has a bit of a short lead over there at first, so he's able to get back with a dive quite easily. Now the pitch to Perkins is a fastball high, 2 balls and no strikes. Now trying to warm up a little quicker, or being signaled to warm up quicker, is Kellen Richards. 2 balls and no strikes on the batter to Perkins. The 2-0 will be fouled out of play. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike on the designated hitter for the Emporia State Hornets, as they are trying to tie this game up with the Griffins leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. They have a runner on first with a 1 out. Pearl will come set. Long stand and then another throw over to first. Once more diving back in is Dees. Pearl has some electric stuff, which we have seen today. Also struggles a little bit with some of the walks in his control. Now the runner D is going to take off from first, and Perkins, trying to defend himself and execute the hit and run, is late and fouls out of play, swearing as he's not able to make it successful. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tucker Perkins in danger of striking out for the 3rd time this game and donning a sombrero. Left-hand hitter waggles the bat as he digs in. Now he sets it on his shoulder. Comes set. Waiting for the pitch from Pearl, who gets the sign from Jeebus. The leg kick, the throw, and that one is once more fouled out of play. It is 2 balls and 2 strikes still. No batting gloves for Perkins, going very old school. As I mentioned last night during my call of the Emporia State Pittsburgh State game, Perkins looks a little bit like Rafael Palmeiro in both appearance physically and his batting style. However, I don't think Perkins is on the juice. Throw over to first once more. Diving back in is Dees. A nice game of pitch and catch between Pearl and Curry. Almost as good as between Pearl and his catcher Jeebus in this at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out, and yet another throw over, and that one was really spiked. Curry bailing out Pearl there as he bodies it up, keeping it in front of him. Much like a hockey goalie does. Getting himself low and getting himself wide. Make sure the ball doesn't squirt by him. So Pearl once more is on the rubber. He'll kick and deal. Dees takes off for second. Throw down by Jeebus. Ends up into center field. Covering was the shortstop Day, and taken out a little bit on the head first slide by Dees. Day went down, falling to the turf. Quickly jumping on it was Robinson, the center fielder. It was a throw on the... Actually, like I said, as where I'm sitting, I can look at the MIAA network broadcast, and the throw from Jeebus was on the first base side of second where he needed to be, but it actually hit the helmet of Dees and ricocheted into center field. Count is now full on Perkins. The 3-2 fouled out away. Tucker Perkins, now that he's got a runner in scoring position after the stolen base by Dees, is really determined to put the ball in play somewhere and not just strike out. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The runner at second is Aaron Dees for the Hornets in the bottom of the 6th. Missouri Western leading 1-0, and inside, Jeebus held it there for a good long while, trying to get the call from home plate umpire Matt Ossenfort, but he is unable to do so, and it is a 1-out walk issued to Tucker Perkins. I'll put runners at first and second now with only 1 out. Paul Clausen, the third baseman, the batter. Infield fly in effect, and there's also a force at third, ball low, and Jeebus unable to handle it, loses it momentarily after it hits the turf. However, he picks it up quickly. 1 ball and no strikes, and there's going to be a mound visit. Going out to calm down Jacob Pearl, as well as give him just a little bit more time for the bullpen to get ready. Coming out, assistant coach Tony Lufier. The entire infield huddling up at the mound now. Both pitchers who were throwing down in Missouri Western's dugout have stopped. Still standing on the hill in the bullpen, the left-handed throwing Kellen Richards. After a moment, the rest of the outfield will disperse. Now the home plate umpire comes in, and there is going to be a pitching change coming in for the Griffins. It will not be Richards. Instead, it will be a right-hander. And with that, we will take a short break and come back with the pitching change following this. Back after this break with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
Hasty Awards has been proud to be the official award supplier to the MIAA for 7 years, and we're happy to supply you and your organization with all your award needs. Whether you're ordering for your individual youth sports team or placing a custom medal order, we have you covered. As always, you have our lowest price guarantee, highest quality awards, exceptional service, and our hasty turnaround. We are ready to serve you for your next event, no matter how large or small. Hasty Awards is the #1 source for all your award and recognition needs.
The new pitcher for the Griffins is going to be the right-handed senior Jacob Miller. And his job is going to come in facing the right-hand hitting Paul Clausen. With 2 on and a 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, the Griffins leading the Hornets 1-0. Each team only has a hit. However, Missouri Western has committed 1 error, while Emporia State has not. A runner at second is Aaron Dees. He got to where he is, courtesy of a walk and then a stolen base at second. And Tucker Perkins drew a walk. Those two sandwiched a pop out to third by Connor Hurst. Miller, the ace of this Griffin squad last year, but injured himself, got an injury earlier in this year and has yet to return to last year's form. The very first thing he does is fake an inside pickoff move to second, sending Dees scampering back. Doesn't actually throw it. So he'll step back on the rubber. Second baseman Monty holding the runner D's at second. The first pitch from Jacob Miller, low and in. That makes it ball 2 on Paul Clausen. Jacob Miller this year, 14 appearances, 13 2/3 innings thrown. The first pitch he sees, the 2-0 will be fouled. Down the line of right and out of play. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now. Jacob Miller has 10 appearances with 6 starts and has thrown 35 innings this year. He also has a save. Jacob Miller 3-3 record on the year. Another inside pickoff move faked by Jacob Miller. Brought the ball out of his glove, held it at about his waist, and then turned and stepped off the mound towards second, but didn't actually throw it. Now he looks at D's and doesn't even fake the pickoff throw, just steps off, not happy with the pitch he agreed to initially. So he'll get back on the rubber. Have his catcher Jeebus run through the signs. The count 2 balls and 1 strike on Clausen. 2 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Missouri Western leading 1-0. The 2-1 low, 3-1. Jacob Miller not nearly the strikeout pitcher that Pearl was on the year. Jacob Miller only has 34 strikeouts. The 3-1 high, ball 4, and the bases are now loaded for the first baseman, Tanner Arnst. And this is a very dangerous situation for the Griffins to be in at the moment. Corners will be brought in. That's Curry at first and Stroop at third. Middle infielders back, looking for a double play. Arnst is 0 for 2. He reached via an error in the second, and he flew out to center in the 4th. Ball 1 low. Three straight balls thrown by Jacob Miller. His only strike is a foul ball. The 3-1. That one's in the zone and pops out of the glove of Jeebus. Jeebus will get on it in a hurry, though, and not allow any sort of advancement. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out and the bases loaded. Miller checks all the runners, and he'll do a ground ball through the hole past a diving Monty at second. 1 run is in. The second one being raved around. Throw home. Jeebus has it. Not quite in time. A head-first slide by Tucker Perkins around the tag of Jeebus gives Emporia State a 2-1 lead. It was a strong throw from Danley in right. One-hopping Jeebus, but just too late did it get home. Going first to third is Clausen. And it's a 2 RBI single for Tanner Arnst, giving Emporia State a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Jacob Miller came in a very difficult spot and has allowed the 2 runners he has inherited to score. Pitch home, grounded right back to Miller, no play. He's going to go home, and they're going to get the runner at third trying to score Clausen. Miller looked to second, initially wanted to try the double play, saw that he didn't have it, then looked home, realized he had a play on on Clausen, and Clausen is cut down for the second out of the inning. 1-2. Nice tag by Jeebus to complete the play. You can see right there, Clausen trying to slide around, but unable to do so. So now the runner at second is Arnst, and the runner at first is Norlin for the Hornets, who now have 2 outs. Batter will be Mitch Sloan. Sloan, watch the first pitch, fastball catch the zone, and then he'll look at a slider catching the inside corner, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Righty on righty matchup between Jacob Miller and Mitch Sloan. Sloan is struck out looking and grounded out to the pitcher. The 0-2 slider on the outside corner, and Sloan goes down looking for the second time today. That's the 3rd out of the inning, and going to the top of the 7th. It's now Emporia State 2, thanks to the 2 RBI single by Tanner Arzt, and Missouri Western 1. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of the Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
We've got our heads in the game,
Our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
at our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA. MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
Well, it took 6 innings, but finally there are runs on the board, and it's 2-1 Emporia State. Missouri Western scored 1 in the top of the 6th. Then Emporia State responded with 2 of their own. They scored 2 runs on 1 hit. 3 walks allowed the Hornets to take this 2-0 advantage. Leading off for the Griffins in the top of the 7th, it'll be the first baseman Andrew Curry. He'll send the first pitch he sees down the line and right, and settling under it about 3 feet in fair territory is the right fielder Dees for out number 1.
Number 24, Fod Shaquille.
So that'll bring up Fod Shaquille. Curry hit it pretty solid, just got underneath it a little too much. He did get it into that wind blowing out to the right field foul pole from center, but didn't hit it low enough for it to matter. Shaquille steps in for his 3rd plate appearance of the day and watches ball 1 missed low and outside. In his first plate appearance, he had a sac bunt, and in his second, he struck out swinging. Quickly, Shaquille is heading the count 2 balls and no strikes. Still out there on the mound is Jake Barton for Emporia State. Extreme shift on the left side of the infield for the Hornets, and ball will be ripped down the line foul. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. After Shaquille, it'll be Meyer and Jeebus. Now, Jeebus will see the plate if Shaquille or Meyer can reach safely, as there is 1 out. Top of the 7th, score 2-1 Emporia State. 2 balls, 1 strike on Shaquille. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. That fastball at the knees. Shaquille, right-hand hitter, has to deal with the second baseman Grove, shortstop Norland, and the third baseman Clausen on the left side. Swing and a miss. Ball not caught cleanly by the catcher Minnick, but keeps it in front of him, so he's able to pick it up and throw down to first to complete the strikeout on Shaquille for the 2nd out of the inning. It's a hard breaking ball that went down. Shaquille swung over the top of it, There's no chance for Minnick to catch it cleanly, so what he had to do was block it and then find it and throw it down to first, which he did. Wyatt Meyer, the designated hitter, will take a big swing and foul the first pitch out of play. In his previous 2 at-bats, he has popped out to third and grounded out to second. The 0-1. That one's rolled over and bounces into the Missouri Western dugout. Nice hands in the dugout to hold on to the ball. So after 2 pitches, Wyatt Meyer is down, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 on the way from Barton is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Winner of this game between the Hornets and the Griffins plays tomorrow at 12:30. Tomorrow at 4. And we'll take on the loser, Central Missouri and Pittsburgh State. The 1-2 is sent into left field. A diving attempt by Sloan, unable to get to it. And then it will be a long single for Meyer, going the opposite way. Great bit of 2-strike hitting. Had a pitch right in the heart of the zone, and he just took it the other way. So, with Meyer on base, there will be a pinch runner. I believe it is Jack Hazlitt. It is indeed Jack Hazlitt pinch running for Will Meyer. As the Griffins trail 2-1 here in the top of the 7th. They have 2 outs. Will Jeebus, the catcher, is up, and he'll have a strike go by him at the knees. No balls and 1 strike here. Jeebus 0 for 2, grounding out to third and grounding out to second. The 0-1 outside zone throw down to first. Diving back in is Hazlitt in time. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Barton will come set, check the runner, and go. Jeebus sends it into center field, and that's going to drop. Circling it is Hurst, and a short turn around second is Hazlitt. He will hold up. Back-to-back 2-out singles here by the Griffins. And they are playing with a little bit of life, trying to get this game squared away. The pitch was a bit low, but Jeebus was able to go down and get it and scoop it into center field. So now the batter is Nolan Monty. Monty entered the game in the 6th inning as a pinch runner for Zach Pitch. After Pitch was hit. Sizable lead by Hazlitt at second. Holding him is the second baseman Grove. Monty will watch strike 1 go by. 5 combined hits between these 2 teams today, and only 3 runs. That's the textbook definition of a pitcher's duel as I've ever heard of one. The 0-1, Monty barely gets a piece and squibs it to the backstop. After that, time will be called by Minnick as he goes out to his pitcher Barton to get on the same page. Someone warming up in the Hornet bullpen, possibly to come in later in this inning if Barton is unable to get out of this. Also likely to come in the next inning. Runners on first and second with 2 out, no balls and 2 strikes on Nolan Monty. Score is 2-1 Emporia State over Missouri Western here in the top of the 7th. Runner at second is Hazlitt. The runner at first, Jeebus. The 0-2 will be fouled off by Monty. Stayed late and was able to get enough of it to send it to the backstop, keeping his weight back. So we'll reset and do it again. Minnick running through the signs, tapping his knees and his chest protector, then flashing the signs to Barton. The 0-2 is a front door slider on the inside corner, and that is the 5th Griffin today to go down on that pitch. So the Griffins strand 2 after getting back-to-back 2-out singles to the bottom of the 7th. It's Emporia State 2, Missouri Western 1. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
It's the bottom of the 7th, and Emporia State still leads Missouri Western by a score of 2-1. Leading things off for the Hornets in the bottom of the 7th is Brian Grove. It's the 1-2-3 hitters for the Hornets in this game. Grove, Minnick, and Dees. Jacob Miller is out to start his first inning. He did come in the middle of the 6th. Took on the batter Paul Clausen after Clausen already had one ball on him. First pitch to Grove was fouled off just to the far side of the Griffin dugout along the first baseline. The 0-1, that one's grounded to first, scooped up with 2 hands by Curry, and he'll kick the bag for out number 1. Great job by Jacob Miller there to attack the strike zone early and often, get the ground ball, and Curry did a very phenomenal job staying down on it and fielding it for out number 1. Little ground balls like that are not always the easiest to have. Just ask Bill Buckner in 1986. Batter now is Cooper Minnick. First pitch, he checks his swing, and it's ball 1. They peeled down to first. First base umpire Cannon Strobel agrees. And now another check swing. This time Minnick goes around, says the home plate umpire Matt Ossenfort. Looks like it is even at 1-1 with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 2nd, Emporia leading 2-1. The 1-1 little bounce in the left-hand batter's box into the glove of Jeebus. 2 balls and 1 strike. Minnick has flown out to left, popped out to first, and grounded out to short. The 2-1, that is a big breaking ball out of the right hand of Jacob Miller, and called that it went low. And I'll grant that it was caught low, but boy, did it look like it crossed through the zone, across the plate, I should say, in the strike zone. 3-1 is a fastball that Minnick can only foul straight back into the net. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Miller gets the sign from Jeebus, kicks and fires, and that's strike 3. That was a tight breaking ball right down the heart of the plate. And Minnick was unable to pull the trigger, just watched it go by, and he knew it too. The moment it went into the glove of Jeebus, he was turning around to walk to the dugout. That gives 2 outs here in the the bottom of the 7th. And Aaron Dees, the right fielder, will come up. Watch his ball one miss inside. Dees, in all 3 of his trips to the plate, has drawn a walk. And I got to figure out what that needs to be called. He'll send the 1-0 down the line and left. Running over to give it a look was the third baseman Stroop, but it is well out of play. And I say that because if you get 3 strikeouts in a game, it's called a sombrero. 4 strikeouts is the golden sombrero. So if you do the opposite of that and drawing walks, got to figure out what that would be. After Dees drew his 3rd walk in the 6th, he eventually came around to score on the single by Tanner Arndt. That gave the Hornets the lead. The 1-1 scored into center field. Robinson will put his glove up to hide his eyes from the sun along with his sunglasses and grab it for the 3rd out of the inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Hornets here in the bottom of the 7th. To the 8th we go. It's still 2-1. Emporia State. Back after this with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
It's the top of the 8th. Hornets still lead the Griffins 2-1. Missouri Western scored 1 in the top of the 6th. Emporia State scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th, and that is where we stand. Leading things off for the Griffins here in the top of the 8th, Miss Casey Danley, right fielder. Danley is 1 for 2. He grounded out to short in the 1st, drew a walk in the 3rd, and then hit a single in the 6th. And his 2 balls and no strikes on Danley is now that he is this deep in the game. Jake Barton is pitching with a renewed vigor for the Hornets. 2-0 is low, skipping across the turf, 3-0. There's a Hornet up and throwing down in their bullpen. So this could very well be Barton's last batter as Danley draws a 4-pitch walk to begin the 8th. No sign of Emporia State head coach Seth Wheeler coming out though. So it's still on for Barton. Josh Robinson will step in. He squares around the bunt and bunts it foul into the netting. Got underneath it. Sent that popped up back into the netting. Robinson drew a walk in the 1st. Was caught stealing, or attempting to steal second. Then he's flown out to right and lined out to the pitcher. And now there is a conference along the 3rd base coach with Josh Robinson as he is over there working out what the strategy is. Down there at 3rd is head coach Buzz Verduzco. The 0-1 again, swing around the bunt is Robinson. That's a curveball that'll bend into the strike zone. Robinson's down, no balls and 2 strikes. With a runner at first and nobody out. Missouri Western trailing Emporia State 2-1 here in the top of the 8th. The 0-2 again, swing around a bunt is Haslett. He gets it down right back to the pitcher Barton. Barton's only play is to first, and great concentration by Josh Robinson there with 2 strikes to get the bunt down. He did have a curveball, so that helped him out a little bit, but the incredible focus to not rush and throw the bat head out too much, just catch the ball with the bat as best you can. So that sac bunt will move Danley over to second with 1 out and bring up the heart of the Griffin order with Dusty Stroop, Brooks Day, and Andrew Curry coming up. Stroop will send the first pitch well down the line on the left. Sloan runs over to give it a look and stops about 10 feet in fair territory, realizing that that ball will keep on traveling out of play. So it's no balls and 1 strike on Stroop. Stroop has struck out looking twice, had a sac fly to right in the 6th. That sac fly scored Nolan Monty. Defense for the Hornets over-shifting on the left side of the infield. The 0-1 just a bit low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Second baseman Grove right behind the bag, holding the runner Danley. And about a step and a dive off of third is the third baseman Clausen. The shortstop Northland splitting the distance. The 1-1, that's right down the middle. That's a pitch that Stroop has to hit. He looks at it, now he's down the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He'll step out, readjust his grip on the bat, and dig back in. Danley, the runner at second. The pitch to Stroop from Barton. He'll pull it foul and bounce it over the Hornet dugout along the first base side. Hit it so hard into the turf that it bounced over it. So we'll stay here at 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 8th. Emporia State leading Missouri Western 2-1. Barton checks Danley at second. Now he's going to turn, and no one was there. He wanted to throw to second, but his second baseman Grove did not break to the bag in time. Danley had already started his secondary lead and had to turn and quickly get back to the bag, bailed out by the fact that there was no defender there. So it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barton comes set, checks Danley and delivers. Ball low, blocked by Minnick. Great job by Minnick back there. And once it was in the dirt, Dusty Stroop doing the right thing as a teammate, finding where the ball was and throwing up the stop sign to Danley in order to ensure that he didn't try and advance unnecessarily. 2 balls and 2 strikes now with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Emporia State leading 2-1 over Missouri Western. The 2-2, that's going to be grounded to third, picked up by Clausen. He looks the runner back at second, throw over to first in time. And Stroop hit it to the wrong side of the infield to try and get an advancement. Grounded it right to the third baseman, Clausen. Clausen, going to his left, was able to pick it up on a short hop. And as he was doing so, got his feet together, checked the runner, Danley, back to second, and threw it over to first for the second out. So now the batter is going to be Brooks Day. And Day is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging and he struck out looking. His first plate appearance, he drew a walk. First pitch is low and outside, ball 1. Day trying to get Casey Danley home from second and tie this game up as the Griffins trail the Hornets 2-1 here in the top of the 8th with 2 out. The 1-0 is a curveball that stayed up, spun right out of the fingers of Barton, lost his grip on it. Day, the shortstop, after being the second baseman all last year for the Griffins and winning a Gold Glove. And this year, had a bit of a slump, went to the bench, came back, and took over the shortstop position following Dusty Stroop's defensive woes. It solidified the left side of the infield for the Griffins. The 2-0, missing 3-0. Whoever was up throwing in the Hornet bullpen sat down. So this is all Barton at the moment. 3 balls, no strikes. Runner on second, 2 out in the top of the 8th. Peoria State leading Missouri Western 2-1. The pitch is low, ball 4, and Brooks Day draws a 2-out walk to put runners at first and second. Andrew Curry, the first baseman, will come in, and now there's a conference at the mound with the entire infield. And well, is heading out there, I believe, is head coach Seth Wheeler to talk to his pitchers. A little bit of a mound visit to let whoever's down there in the Emporia State bullpen, I noticed, got up and get those last few pitches that he needs to get ready to enter this game. Home plate umpire going to come and break this up. Game following this one is between Central Oklahoma and Missouri Southern, and both teams are here looking on against who they could possibly play if either of these teams fight their way out of these losers brackets to the championship game on Sunday. Because how the bracket is, if you're in a losers bracket on one side, if you win both of your games there, you move to the winners bracket, or move to the other half of the winners bracket, essentially. Now, just as Barton comes set, Curry will ask for time, a little bit of gamesmanship. Outfield straight away against Curry. Infield sees the first baseman Arts about in his normal position. The second baseman Grove about 3 steps deep into the outfield and shaded a little more towards second. The shortstop Norland is holding the runner at second, but also only about 3 steps to the right of second base. And the 1-0 is sent deep into right field. Going back is Deast. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch at the absolute deepest part that he could in right field. That ball was hit about as far as it could go here at Al Ortolani Field by Andrew Curry without it going out. Aaron Dees having his back flush up against the fence and putting it away for the 3rd out of the inning. Leaving 2 runners on, the Griffins come up with nothing. To the bottom of the 8th, it's Emporia State 2, Missouri Western 1. Back after this on the Griffin Sports Network.
Leading off for Emporia State's number 15.
In the bottom of the 8th, it's 2-1. Hornets over the Griffins, and Jacob Miller, first pitch is swung on and grounded to third by Connor Hurst. Thrown over to first for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Efficiency from Jacob Miller thus far. And I'll bring up Tucker Perkins. Perkins has struck out swinging twice, and they drew a walk in the 6th. He eventually came around to score on the single by Tanner Arnst. A head-first slide to the foul side of home, got around the tag of William Jeebus, following a strong throw in from right field by Casey Danley. No balls and 1 strike now on Arnst, and he'll foul the 0-1 pitch out of play. So he's quickly down the count, no balls and 2 strikes, trying to avoid having a sombrero hung on him. Perkins waits for the pitch from Miller. He gets it, and it's a curveball way low and inside. Perkins twists at the waist as if to swing, but that's about all that he does. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Paul Clausen. Low 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Tucker Perkins can head to the bench and grab a sombrero. His 3rd swinging strikeout of the game. Now Paul Clausen will step in, and Perkins on that strikeout just swung right over the top of the breaking ball. Wind picking up and blowing in straight from right field now. That probably helped kill that fly ball from Andrew Curry that ended the top of the 8th for the Griffins. Clausen watches strike 1 go by. Jacob Miller coming in, working methodically and efficiently. Came in really an impossible situation with runners on first and third. With 1 out, he came against Clausen. He walked the bases loaded when he walked Clausen, and then gave up a single to Tanner Arnst. That gave Emporia State their only 2 runs of the game, but thus far it's all that they have needed. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Clausen. Curveball low, 3-1. Couple Griffins throwing down in the bullpen, but it could very much be a little bit of too little too late. Miller will throw it inside, walking Clausen. 2-out free pass. Puts a runner on first for the Hornets. Batter will be a pinch hitter for the Hornets. It's going to be Lou Penner coming in place of Tanner Arnst. Penner watches strike 1 cut across at the knees. Defense straight away for the Griffins. Miller will come set, check the runner at first, check him again, and deal, and miss outside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Missouri Western scored 1 run in the 6th, and then they gave it yet plus some back in the bottom of the 6th, allowing Emporia to take a 2-1 lead, which is where we have been. The 1-1 curveball bounces away from Jeebus, and already committed to going back to first was Clausen, as he did not read the ball in the dirt very well. Two balls and 1 strike, 2 out, 1 on. Score 2-1. Emporia State leading over Missouri Western. The 2-1 low, 3-1. Jacob Miller, after doing a pretty good job following his initial entry into the game in the 6th inning. Struggling bit here at the tail end of the 8th. The 3-1. That's at the top of the zone. Strike 2. The Penner thought that was going to be a ball, and he was in the midst of looping his bat around. And Penner going with the wood bat up there. The 3-2 off, and the pitch is Clausen, and it doesn't matter. He'll take second because of the walk. Back-to-back 2-out walks by Jacob Miller, and Miller alongside starting pitcher Jacob Pearl having some command issues today with a lot of free passes being issued. And they're going to be a pitching change coming in. I believe will be the left-handed throwing Kellen Richards, who has been up and down all game from the bullpen. And actually, well, no, it is going to be the left-handed throwing Richards. And so with the pitching change, we'll step aside for a break and come back on the other side with more Missouri Western baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Bottom of the 8th. Emporia State leading Missouri Western 2-1. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Jacob Miller unable to get that final one, issuing back-to-back 2-out walks. The first one to Paul Clausen, the second one to Alex Painter. Now Kellen Richards will come in, the sidearm slinging left-hander, to face Josh Norland. Trying to get the final out of the 8th here and keep it to just a 1-run deficit for the Griffins. Richards appearing in his 23rd game. First pitch is inside, ball 1, and stealing third, being very aggressive, is Paul Clausen. He gets in there without a throw. Will Jeebus caught the ball on the inside part of the plate against the left-handed hitting Norland and had no chance to throw it down. Emporia State trying to add some insurance here. And now there's going to be a steal at home, and he is going to be out. They tried to do a double steal from third and home to get the balk against the left-handed throwing Richards, and that does not happen. Being cut down trying to steal home is Clausen. That's going to end the bottom of the 8th. To the top of the 9th, the score is 2-1 Emporia State. Back after this with more baseball on the Griffin Sports Network.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
Hasty Awards has been proud to be the official award supplier to the MIAA for 7 years, and we're happy to supply you and your organization with all your award needs. Whether you're ordering for your individual youth sports team or placing a custom medal order, we have you covered. As always, you have our lowest price guarantee, highest quality awards, exceptional service, and our hasty turnaround. We are ready to serve you for your next event, no matter how large or small.
Coming in to pitch the ninth, looking for the save for the Hornets is going to be the right-hand pitcher, Drew Schrimsher. So after 8 innings of 1-run ball, Jake Barton is sent to the Sours. Top of the ninth, we'll see Fad Shaquille lead things off for the Griffins. And he's going to face the 3/4 slinging Schrimsher. No balls and 1 strike as Shaquille watches the first pitch go by. And the 0-1 is a slider that will paint the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes on the Griffins' leadoff hitter. Schrimsher bends over and almost has his back 45 degrees and an angle to the ground, and then he just kind of keeps that back angle and whips it across his body. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Shaquille. The 1-2. Grounded right back up the middle, and Schrimsher backhands it and throws it over to first. Holy cow. Schrimsher, with his motion, ends up with his back facing home plate, and he throws his left hand, his glove hand out, and is able to make the catch, continues the motion around to first, will take a couple steps, and throws it over to Painter for the out. And that is 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Pinch hitting for Jack Hazlitt is going to be Jordan Jackson, the freshman, sent up to keep this game going. Facing off a hard throwing right-hander in Schrimsher. The pitch. Catches the outside corner, strike 1. Score is 2-1 Emporia State over Missouri Western here in the top of the ninth. All 3 runs have come in the 6th inning. The 0-1 swung on and missed by Jackson. A late breaking slider, and Jackson unable to get any part of the bat on it. The 0-2 is sent in the left field. That was just kind of a soft liner out of the reach of the shortstop, Norland. So there's 1 on with 1 out. Griffins not saying die just yet, and there will be a pinch runner for Jackson. That ball was on the outer half of the plate, and Jackson was able to yank it over to the left side. Now pinch running for Jackson is Trevor Guzzo. That brings up Will Jeebus, the catcher, who was 1 for 3. He's grounded out to third, grounded out to second, and singled. Jeebus will watch a slider break outside, ball 1. That one started at about where the outside black would have been, and just continued to move away from Jeebus. Jeebus let it go. The 1-0 from Schrimsher. Sent into left field. It's going to get down in front of the left fielder, Sloan. Sloan cuts it off, and a wide turn at second is Guzzo, but the Griffins are in business with back-to-back 1-out singles here in the top of the ninth. After how easily Schrimsher handled Fad Shaquille, looked like it might be a quick 1-2-3 inning against the Griffins, but they're up here, and They are in business at the moment. And pinch hitting for Nolan Monty is Conrad McMahon. McMahon on the year, 345 hitter, 402 on base. He's got 38 hits, 8 of them extra bases, 6 doubles, 2 home runs. First pitch to McMahon is a ball. At this point, all the Griffins need is just a ball hit to the outfield. The 1-0 misses, 2-0, and now Shrimshire can't find the strike zone. Man missed 14 games this year due to injury. Various injuries have kept him going in and out of the lineup. 2-0 is fouled back and out of play. So now it's 2-1. If McMahon can reach base, it'll get back to the top of the order for the Griffins. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 on, 1 out. Score 2-1 Emporia State. The 2-1 low, 3-1, but Minnick, the catcher, nodding his head because his pitcher hit the target that was set for him. Shrimshire bends at the waist, looking in for the sign from Minnick. Second baseman Grove trying to keep the runner Gizzo close at second. The 3-1 is sent down the line and out of play into the Griffin bullpen on the right field line. So the count is now full. Conrad McMahon trying to keep this game alive and the season alive for Missouri Western. The 3-2 on the outside corner, and McMahon is rung up looking. He thought it was ball 4. He started to walk toward first, and instead he's going to be walking toward the dugout. It was right at the letters, the very top of the strike zone. Definitely a pitch that would be borderline based on what the umpire had been calling today, but by the letter of the rule book, it was indeed a strike. So that puts the weight on Casey Danley to keep this game going. 2 on, 2 out. He'll watch a slider for a strike to begin the at-bat. Danley is grounded out to short, drawn 2 walks, and he's singled. The 0-1 sent into left field. Going back is Sloan, and it is gone! Casey Danley with a 3-run home run, putting up Missouri Western 4-2. He hit that into the teeth of the wind coming out of left now. Ending up on the berm, separating the PSU baseball field from the PSU softball field. A 3-run home run from Casey Danley into left field, a no-doubt home run. Mitch Sloan, the left fielder, went back thinking that it possibly could stay in play, but there was no doubt that that was gone from the moment that it would hit the bat. So now the batter is going to be Josh Robinson. He fouls off the first pitch that he sees down the right field line. Griffins are up 4-2 now. The 1-0 swinging bunt fielded by the pitcher Shrimshire, and he throws it into right field over the first baseman Painter. And cruising into second is Robinson. And now the ball thrown in from right misses the shortstop Norland, bouncing over his glove. Wow, what a change of events. A 2-out, 3-run home run, then a swinging bunt picked up by Shrimshire, who just threw it way over the head of his first baseman Penner. And the Griffins are still threatening to score here with a runner at second and 2 out. Ground ball It's deep in the hole for Norland. He's going to go to third, and they're going to apply the tag, as going to third was Robinson. Dusty Stroop hit it over to the left side, and going the short way was Norland. That ends the inning, but not before a massive 3-run home run off the bat of Casey Danley gives the Griffins a 4-2 lead. Back after this with the bottom of the ninth of Missouri Western Baseball here on the Griffin Sports Network.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Bottom of the ninth, the Griffins lead the Hornets by the score of 4-2. A 2-out, 3-run home run by Casey Danley, giving the Griffins a chance to extend their year and play tomorrow. He hit that a country mile into left field, into the teeth of the wind that has been constantly blowing either from center field to the right field foul pole or in from right. But he was able to do it and get it successfully. Pitching now for the Griffins is Anthony Castaneda. He gets 1 out on 1 pitch, a ground ball by Josh Norland to the first baseman Curry. So now pinch hitting for Emporia State is Tyrus Barclay in place of Mitch Sloan. Castaneda's first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Barclay, a right-handed hitter, facing off against the right-handed throwing Castaneda. The 0-1 is a big curveball, slow curveball that stays high of the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike now. After Barclay, it's back to the top of the order with Brian Grove. The 1-1. That one sent soaring into left. Shaquille settles under it and will put it away with 2 hands. Second out of the inning. And Emporia State, in a massive turn of events, find themselves down to their final out, trailing by 2 after mere minutes ago being up by 1 and looking to extend their year. Batter Brian Grove, who is 1 for 4, a strikeout swinging, a single, a fly out to left, and a ground ball to first. He fouls the first pitch that he sees out of play. Castaneda looking for the win here, looking for the save here, while Jacob Miller is on for the win. The 0-1, big 12-6 curveball drops below the knees of Grove, leaving things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Defense straight away. The 1-1 fouled off of Grove in the box. So now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Missouri Western leading Emporia State 4-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Anthony Castaneda coming in the last 2 games and looking to keep his scoreless inning streak alive as he ended the game against Central Missouri, not allowing any runs. The 1-2 just a bit low, framed there by Jeebus, and not getting the call. So now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Grove should not let a pitch that close go by again. The 2-2 from Castaneda. It's sent into right field. Danley underneath it, grabs it for the win. And coming from the jaws of defeat, it's victory for the Griffins. They defeat the Emporia State Hornets by a score of 4-2, courtesy of a 3-run home run in the top of the 9th from Casey Danley. It's only fitting that he squeezes it for the final out. We'll step aside for one final break, and then we will come back with final stats. You are listening to Missouri Western Baseball on the Griffin Sports Network.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back one final time to Al Ortolani Field, where the Missouri Western Griffins are midge victorious over the Emporia State Hornets by the score of 4-2. In the game, the Griffins scored 4 runs on 6 hits. They committed an error. They left 7 on base. Meanwhile, the Hornets scored 2 runs on 2 hits. They also committed an error and left 8 on base. The biggest hit of the game, though, the 3-run home run in the top of the 9th with 2 outs by Casey Danley on the second pitch of the at-bat that he saw, giving them the victory. The winning pitcher for the Griffins is Jacob Miller. Anthony Castaneda getting the save. The losing pitcher is Drew Shrimsher of the Hornets, and it's only fitting that with Danley hitting the home run to win the game, he caught the final out that secured the victory for the Griffins. So with that, Emporia State will play tomorrow at 12:30 against the loser of Central Oklahoma, and Missouri Southern, that is getting ready to take place. As I said, that will be at 12:30 here at Al Ortolani Field, taking on the loser of they will take on the loser of Central Missouri and Pittsburgh State, who will play later tonight. So with that, we will send it back to regularly scheduled programming. I've been Shelby White. Thanks to Travis back in our studio pushing all the buttons. You've listened to the Griffins defeat the Hornets 4-2.
We've got our heads in the game,
Our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
at our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA. MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.